welcome to my channel. This is my very first video, and I thought that starting it off with a newbie book tag would be the perfect way to kind of get into it, and get into the channel and get to know me and all of that kind of stuff. So that's why I chose to do it. Anyway, so I'm going to just start off. The first question is, why did I start this channel? I started this channel because I love talking about books, and I would love discussing it with people who also love talking about books, because everyone in my life, mostly everyone in my life, isn't really into reading besides like my mom. So I just wanted to have some other people who were interested in the things that I was talking about, reading the same things that I'm talking about, get my thoughts out there in the world. Yeah, so that's why. Okay, and the second question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? Well, I am very into film. I am really into editing and filming and shooting, and I took a filmmaking class before. I love filming, and I want to get better at it and used to it and get comfortable in front of a camera, because I'm obviously not right now. So for fun and unique, what I can do is I can probably bring some of that into it, like make some more unique kind of videos with like different kind of camera work and different kind of editing techniques. Not at the beginning, because I kind of want to get used to it first, being having my channel up and stuff and everything else. But I would really love to add that later on and maybe make some more artsy type of videos and see if how I can do that. So the third question is, what are you most excited for about this channel? I'm excited to grow and see what's gonna come next or get used to it. I'm excited for all of those kind of things. The next question is, why do you love reading? This is kind of a hard question and a very easy question, but it's like, how do I describe it without saying what everyone else says? Like, it's an escape, basically. That's my main thing, is whenever I'm anywhere, I will just bring out a book and start reading, because it's like to get out of a situation, to instead of like constantly worrying about life and being there, it's like you can go into another life, into another world, and get as far away from this one as possible. And you can just escape and meet all different kinds of creatures and magical beings, and you can just go anywhere you want in the world. When you feel trapped in whatever situation you're in, it's like I can just leave it in a book, and I can just find so many new things and learn so many new things from whatever I read. I can travel all over the place. It's amazing, and I find so many new things that I love. I find the bits and parts and pieces, and my imagination grows, because it's like, in a movie, you watch it, it has nothing to do with your imagination, you just watch it. With a book, it's like, you can kind of imagine it, like what the world looks like in your own head, and it's like, every person probably has a different view of what the world looks like. It's like, everyone probably sees the people differently, and like, imagine different facial features, and imagine different ways the world looks and all of that. And I think that is really, really cool, and I absolutely use my imagination 24/7 in my own daydreams and stuff like that. But it's like, a book is a perfect place for it, and it's like your mind can just create all of these things and explore so many different places in your mind that you've like never been before, and it's super amazing and magical. And it's like the words and the writing, it can be so poetic, even if it's not poems or anything. It's like poetic, and just, I just love how things are described, and I can just imagine like the beauty of a situation instead of just having it shown to me in a TV or movie. Although, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love TV and movies and stuff like that. But it's just different. And also, I every time you read a book, you can just like put another one on your shelf, and it's like another accomplishment, like a little trophy. And I think I heard another booktuber say that about like the trophy thing, so that's not original. But it's like you can just add, and you can see all the accomplishments, and you can see how much like you're getting through and stuff like that. And like with movies and TV shows, like yeah, you can finish the end of the series, but like for this, it's just more of an accomplishment, more of a reward to be able to see everything, all the worlds you went through, like on a shelf or something. And that's why I love reading, and I'm sure there's a million more reasons. Question number 4. What books got you into reading? Okay, so for this question, I have to answer Harry Potter. I know probably everyone else has given that answer, but if I were to say anything else, it would have been a lie. So yeah, Harry Potter. It's just a world that I've always loved going into. I read it in 4th or 5th grade, and I've loved reading many years before that. But none of those books really stuck with me like Harry Potter did. Like, my mom would read it to me, not read Harry Potter to me, but read other books to me, and I just don't remember what those books were. I know there was Narnia and stuff like that, but I don't really remember loving reading till Harry Potter, where I couldn't wait to continue, where I would take whatever chance I get to read, and I would get in trouble in class for reading under the desk, and all of that kind of stuff. There's no other answer for it, because I truly loved reading at that, and before that, I liked books, but I didn't like love them yet, you know? I wasn't obsessed with it yet. And I could answer that question in another way, because there was a while where I stopped reading, so I couldn't answer what got me back into reading, because I kind of just want to mention this author and these books because I loved it, and I'm so thankful for those books to get me back into it, which is Ellen Hopkins' books, Crank, Tricks, and those books. Those got me back into reading. Number 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? My favorite booktubers are Sophie Series, Murphy Napier, don't really know how to say her name, and then Emma Books. So I would ask them, how do you get comfortable in front of a camera? Because this is harder than I thought it would be. I'm so nervous sitting here. I just want to know how long it's going to take me to kind of get comfortable. I know everyone's different, but I kind of just want to know, how do you do it? How do you... I don't know. I just would like to have help with that, because that's kind of like the most struggle I'm having with. Question number 7 is, what challenge do you think will be the hardest to overcome in this booktube channel? I think just what I just said, being comfortable in the camera. Also, probably lighting and figuring out editing and figuring out like if I get more subscribers or get some people watching me, how I'm going to like talk and like how to get comfortable and still like be myself without the stress of what people think of me. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. That's probably going to be like the hardest thing to do. Question number 8. When did you start reading? Probably right when I could start reading. Like 6 or 7. Yeah. I would say though that I didn't really love reading that yet. Remember, like, in elementary school when you used to be kind of forced to read 20 to 30 minutes? I don't know if it was like that every school, but, you know, each night you'd have to read a certain amount. And I kind of hated it for a while because I don't like being told what to do, and I always hated being told what to do. So I would kind of hated it, but then I would go through phases where I loved it, and I would be reading every chance I got, but then as soon as people told me what to do it again and told me I had to read and stuff like that, I would start hating it again. Because I remember loving reading in 3rd grade, and like during recess I would like have my book out walking around and stuff like that while I was reading. I also remember 4th grade and 5th grade making up games about Harry Potter and stuff like that, so that's also when I started loving reading, was 4th and 5th grade, like I said earlier, because of Harry Potter. And then I think in middle school it became even more my thing because we were no longer forced to do that, so I just started really loving reading in middle school. And then freshman year I kind of started to get out of it, but I still liked it. And then sophomore year I stopped reading I stopped reading completely, which I think was one of the worst decisions I've ever made, because that was kind of like one of the worst years of my life, and I feel like if I was reading, that would have helped a lot. And then there was my junior year where I started obsessively reading again, and senior year. Anyway, that's a reading story. I went on a whole tangent with that. But yeah, that's just how I started. So I gotta say, 6 or 7. Didn't love it yet. But yeah, that's kind of when I started, you know. Okay, question number 9. Where do you like reading? I like reading in my bed most of the time. I prefer my bed. But I will also read on my breaks at work. When I was in school, because I already graduated, but when I was in school, I would read after every class, like every time I was done. It would have like 10 to 20 minutes. I would read, or even just 5 minutes. I would read every chance I got. I would finish my work as fast as I could just to read. I took every chance then. So at that time, I would read all the time. But now I probably mostly read in my bed. Oh, and also during the summer, I have my porch outside, and I love turning on the light, and it would be like the porch light on, and I would love kind of reading outside, but at night, because I'm not gonna go outside during the day for fun. But just like I would read outside on the porch and stuff like that at night, and it was pretty nice. Number 10. What do you like to read? I like to read YA fantasy books. I gotta say, this probably the majority of what I read. I've also been kind of liking dystopian lately, like old dystopians, like The Hunger Games and Divergent, stuff like that. I've been rereading that lately. I don't know. I don't really read much contemporary anymore. I used to, but now I've really started to dislike it, because when I read, I kind of want to like leave this world. So I don't get why I would read stuff taking place in this world, because that like kind of gets rid of the whole purpose of why I read. Even though I do like some contemporary books, and not to say that if you like contemporary that's bad or anything. I'm just saying personally that doesn't really go with the reason why I like to read. But I do read contemporary sometimes, like by Alan Hopkins and stuff like that. And I read 2 contemporaries in January, but it's kind of rare. I also really want to get back into historical fantasy, because I really do like historical fantasy. And oh, I love retellings. I haven't read much retellings lately, but I really, really love retellings. I think they're super fun to read, because I love fairy tales and stuff like that. Oh, and I also like the classical kind of kids books, like Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland. I really love those books. So those are probably those are some of my favorites. So it kind of, my taste goes all over the place, but mostly YA fantasy. If you were to ask me what I was reading, most likely you would bet on YA fantasy. Anyway, so that is my first booktube video. I think I did good. I don't know if I did good, but I am excited to keep on filming and getting better at this, and I am super excited to have you continue on my journey with me. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.